So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Wonderlands video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about endgame in Wonderlands, what it is, how you do it, and what are the best kind of tips for doing it in order to get yourself the maximum amount of loot. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So once you have completed the story, you will unlock endgame for Wonderlands, and endgame in this particular game is the Chaos Chamber. Now the Chaos Chamber is a procedurally generated event that you can select once you have finished the story from Brighthoof. It will prompt you to go into the castle at the end of the story, and therefore you will be met by the Dragon Lord, and he will tell you a little bit about it. He'll give you a little bit of a tutorial and a run through. Essentially what it is the procedurally generated rooms. You will go through a series of rooms, and then finally, once you've gone through those rooms, you will fight a boss, defeat the boss, and you will get access to the loot room. Now you have 3 lives. If you are playing co-op, that is 3 full wipes. So you have 3 lives in order to be successful. Once you have been successful, you will go into the loot room. The loot room will have a chest in the middle, of which is completely free. You open that and you have a good chance at getting a legendary item. And then you will have a series of bunnies on the left and the right hand side. Now the way this works is pretty simple. You will select whatever you want to try and get. So there are icons above the bunnies for shotguns, for pistols, for spells and whatever. If you're looking for anything in particular, then you just plow all your crystals into that particular bunny. Now it's worth noting that these crystals are only spent in the Chaos Chamber, so there's no point holding on to them, as you will lose them as you leave. So plow them in as you see fit. So that's the loot out of the way, but how do you go about getting the most amount of crystals and the best opportunity for legendaries? And that is really simple. Wonderland's answer for mayhem levels from Borderlands 3 is Chaos. Now Chaos is from 1 to 20, and you can only go up in Chaos by earning that through the Chaos Chamber. Now when you go to the Dragon Lord at the start, you will have a series of runs that you can do. You can do a normal Chaos Chamber run, a featured run, which is a curated weekly changeable event, or you can do a challenge run. Now a challenge run will give you the opportunity for you to bump your chaos up by defeating that chaos level in the Chaos Chamber. Once you have defeated that, you will then go up to the next level. Every time you go up a chaos level, you will be increasing your chance at legendary items, and that is the real key here. So if you want the best loot, you need to be playing Chaos Chambers on the hardest difficulties, and you also need to be trying to earn as many crystals as possible. Now to do this, you want to be taking risks in the Chaos Chamber, and that's where the blessings and curses come in. Every time you defeat a room, you'll be presented with a couple of options. These options are either a blessing or a curse. Now the blessings, if you defeat the room, will give you a bonus to certain skills. However, the curses will give you an option between choosing an easy, medium and hard curse. Now some of these curses are pretty brutal, and it does see the return of some very similar modifiers that we saw in Borderlands 3. Essentially what happens here is the more curses you select through your run, you are going to earn more crystals, of which you can spend in the loot room at the end. Now there are other ways to spend your crystals as well, and these are power-ups. You will see power-ups on your little mini-map with a little purple icon which looks like a waypoint. You can go and spend crystals there, boosting gun damage, spell damage, or all those kind of things. Once through your run as well, you will also get 2 lines of power-ups at the end, which is kind of usually about 75% of the way through, and you can select a multitude of power-ups ready for what is ultimately going to be a boss fight at the end. Now there is a couple of tips that I would give you for Chaos Run. When you're doing a Chaos Run challenge run, there is absolutely no need for you to earn a ton of crystals. So you can select all the blessings and avoid all the hard modifiers just to bump up your chaos level to the next level. And then when you want to actually farm for gear, that's when you think about, minimizing the amount of power-ups you spend on and maximizing the amount of curses and upgrading things to elite difficulty. Another thing to note is if you die while the encounter is actually setting counter clear, you won't actually lose a life, which is pretty nice if you die to dot damage, for example. Now there are a bunch of side options in the Chaos Chamber as well. One thing to note about those, they aren't actually needed, but you will get more crystals to do them. Also as well, if you're fighting a bunch of enemies and you need to kill a lot of enemies, sometimes there's really tough enemies in there, but you only need to kill a certain amount of enemies. If you're finding it pretty tough, if you can't element match that particular boss, he's tricky, he's flying or whatever, you can actually kill a number of the smaller enemies and that big boss or big tough enemy will just completely disappear when the encounter is clear. So you don't actually have to kill all the tough ones if you're struggling. Maybe it's a featured run or a run that you're trying to boost up your chaos level. It's just about completion at that stage. Overall, the chaos chamber is really fun and rewards you for the amount of difficulty that you select. And if you see somebody at the higher chaos levels, you know that they've had to earn that chaos level in order to get there. That's it for today's video, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week. And otherwise, I'll catch you on the flip.